Now at 11, a race to vaccinate young kids.
Seeing this information be released is just a huge sigh of relief.
How soon the Pfizer vaccine could be approved to be used for those 5 to 11 years old. And new changes to a North Portland park hopes to curb homeless encampments. And later,
what I went through was awful, and nobody needs to experience that for simply doing the right thing.
a woman speaks out about her violent encounter with a homeless man. And we start with breaking news tonight, where one person is dead following a shooting in Gresham. This is video from the scene on West Powell Road outside the Walmart in Gresham. Police told us one person was fatally shot when they arrived. Investigators have some information on the suspect, but have not arrested anyone yet. This is a developing story, and we will update you when more information becomes available. And now to an assault involving a suspected thief. A Portland woman says she tried to tell the man to stay off her neighbor's porches before he attacked her. Catherine Cook has the victim's story and video of the suspect.
Here.
Anna Fisher's pain is physical.
I'm swollen. I've got a bruise started. He cut the inside of my mouth.
And emotional.
I'm just terribly shaken.
After what happened last weekend.
5:30 on a Sunday.
Fisher says that's when she saw this man walking down Southeast 19th near Bybee. A neighbor caught him on camera.
When I came outside, I saw that he had come off one of my neighbor's porches with stuff in his arms. And I shouted at him and I said, "You need to get out of here. You don't live here. You need to go."
Fisher says the man just grunted at her and moved on to the next porch. She yelled at him again and says that's when things turned violent.
He dropped his stuff on the yard and came across the street and got about 8 feet away. And I said, "You need to back off." And he paused for a moment and just clocked me. I fell into the bushes.
Neighbors poured out to help and called police.
They're good people. I love my neighbors.
Fisher says officers were here within 2 minutes. The man took off running.
Cop cars were coming, and he had the wherewithal to say to someone who asked him what's going on, he said, "A man hit a woman," and he kept running, and it was him who had hit me.
Police tell us they took an assault report, but haven't found or identified the suspect. They also collected evidence, including stuff he dropped on the ground and surveillance video.
The officer said, "We'll put out a flyer. We usually catch them when we put out a flyer," so I hope that happens. I just want him caught. I don't want him to hurt anybody else.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And now to the pandemic. Today, Pfizer announced its vaccine is safe and effective for kids ages 5 to 11 based on its data. This comes as COVID cases are rising among kids. The drug maker plans to apply for emergency use authorization by the end of the month. But there are several more steps required before the FDA and the CDC allow the vaccine to be given to children across the country. And with a new dangerous virus in our midst, doctors like Wendy Hassan wish more people would trust them and follow their lead.
I will tell you that, I'm going to look at this data very, very closely, but if this data, it shows that it's safe, which is what I anticipate, I will be the first in line to vaccinate my own child.
If the vetting and approval process goes through, the Pfizer vaccine could be available for kids in late October. Starting this week, Portland Public School students can opt in to get free COVID testing. Christine Pitawanich spoke to parents and takes a look at how it would work.
Starting this week, Portland parents will begin hearing from their school principals, asking if they'd like to sign a consent form and opt in to free COVID-19 screen testing.
My name is Rochelle Chase Miller. I have 2 kids. One is a 3rd grader in PPS, and my youngest is in preschool.
In-person school for her 3rd grader Leo has been going well, but that's not to say she isn't worried about COVID or the Delta variant. Plus, neither of her kids are old enough to get the vaccine.
Out of my 2 kids, obviously worried for both of them, but more concerned about my oldest. He has cerebral palsy and asthma, and I'll feel better knowing what his status is.
That's why she's planning to opt in to Portland Public Schools' free COVID-19 screen testing.
I think it is a really useful tool. I actually wish that it was an opt-out situation.
Here's how it'll work. Each week, kids that have opted in will get a test kit. They'll take it home, collect a spit sample, then bring it back to school the next day. That sample then goes to OHSU for processing. Families will have results within 48 hours. Mom, Catherine Schmidt, intends to opt in as well.
And I have two daughters. Merritt is 10 and is in 5th grade, and Ellery is 13 and is in 8th grade. So I will do, at this point, really anything that will keep our kids in schools.
Schmidt's concern that her 10-year-old isn't vaccinated, and also her older daughter's school environment.
The middle schools are certainly more crowded and there's more movement from class to class. So I think that's been something to give us a little bit more of a pause. You can't really test kids, or at least a non-vaccinated child, too many times, in my opinion.
I hope that other parents continue to think not just about their children, but the children that they share space with, and take care of each other.
To be tested, kids don't have to be showing symptoms. At this point, the district plans to prioritize grades K through 5 because kids at that age still can't get the vaccine. After that, middle and high schoolers will be the focus. Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
Now to a disturbing case in Albany. Police are looking for a man who broke into a home and sexually assaulted 2 children. Here's what we know so far. Police said a stepmother came home early Monday morning to find the children's other parent asleep and heard noises coming from the children's room. That's when she said she saw a man sexually assaulting them. The woman told police the suspect pushed her before running away. Police say this is a very rare occurrence and say it's an important reminder to be vigilant in your neighborhood.
We're not trying to shock the community, but we're just wanting to accurately put it out there that we are investigating something of this nature. It doesn't happen very often, and it's a good reminder to be vigilant.
The children were taken to a child advocacy center before seeking treatment at a local hospital. If you have any information, contact detectives, and here's the number: 541-917-7686. ODOT is placing boulders in Portland's Delta Park area to prevent homeless camps. Crews are putting the boulders in at the fields at Victory Boulevard near I-5. And if you've driven near Delta Park, you probably noticed just how large those homeless encampments have become. The area is also prone to violence. In mid-August, police taped off a homeless encampment there because of a deadly shooting. The boulders are part of ODOT's broader efforts to minimize camps around the Portland area. The Newburgh School District has been embroiled in controversy for weeks, and tonight is facing even more scrutiny. It comes after a district staffer showed up to work in blackface. KGW's Mike Benner has reaction from the district superintendent and parents.
Monday afternoon in Newburgh, as students stream out of Mabel Rush Elementary School, news about a staffer placed on administrative leave is just starting to spread. KGW has learned that employee showed up to work late last week in blackface.
It's kind of like a blow. It was bad to know it was in the Newburgh School District and then to find out that it was my daughter's school. It was just, surprising.
District officials won't say why the staffer dressed in blackface, but the Newburgh Graphic reports that person wanted to resemble Rosa Parks while protesting the vaccine mandate.
Vile. That was vile. And I was shocked in a way, but also not surprised in a way, because look at where we are as a community. We're divided. We're angry. People are acting out in ways that they haven't before. District
parent Ty Hardin Moore blames the Newburgh School Board. This summer, Director Brian Shannon came up with a proposal directing the superintendent to get rid of all Black Lives Matter and Pride symbols in district facilities. The ban has since been altered to images that depict support or opposition relating to a political, quasi-political, or controversial topic, and the board is still discussing the matter.
I really believe that they have unleashed something in this community that we have to address. And the thing that they've unleashed in this community, in my opinion, is racism.
Just last week, we learned some Newburgh High School students participated in a Snapchat group chat called Slave Trade, where they joked about how much they'd pay for their black classmates in a slave auction. On Monday, Superintendent Dr. Joe Morlock addressed that and the recent blackface incident.
The students of color of Newburgh deserve so much more. This goes against everything I and the vast majority of NSD staff have, believe, and it is unfathomably offensive.
As we found out, all of this has some parents second-guessing their decision to send their kids to Newburgh schools.
It's just one thing after another, and for a parent, I think you question, sending your kid to school after a while. I mean, I do.
The district would not tell us if this employee involved in the blackface incident is on paid or unpaid leave, only that the Human Resources Department has launched an investigation that could result in a number of disciplinary actions, including termination. We'll, of course, stay on top of the story. Reporting in Newburgh, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
And it is worth mentioning, we did reach out to all 7 directors on the Newburgh School Board for comment. Not one of them has gotten back to us.